acknowledge the possibility of death. We cannot be afraid any longer.
아, 나 미치겠네. 어떡하지? 와, 열받게 하네 진짜.
But our work is not done. We are still at war. The question we now face is how to finish that war. When I created this agency, I understood what its role would be, to operate in the shadows of secrecy and provide intelligence that would ensure our nation's security. Above all, I believed it was our mission to prepare Vector against the growing Hellgas threat. I understood just how important that mission was when we were attacked just a few weeks ago, when our great building, not far from us, was almost burned to the ground. On that day, over 200 of our team perished in those fires. Countless citizens lost their lives around the city. Thousands of lives were devastated. You can't focus on from our fantasy, a fantasy of denial. From that day, we could no longer deny the very real and present threat to our nation. This was a threat that had been allowed to infiltrate our own society and take advantage of our freedoms. If we didn't know it before, we know it now. The Hellgas mean to destroy us. They believe it is their duty to destroy us. And for as long as they live, they will not stop. We have nothing but a wall to separate us from this evil. New Helgen is a failed state, full of rogue generals and weapons proliferators. It is only a matter of time. Do not let our recent success delude us. They will attack again. They envy our way of life because we are free. But as free people, we have vulnerabilities, weaknesses that they can seek to exploit. We cannot think we lack the will or resolve to fight this war. Every nation faces great challenges, and this is ours. It is incumbent upon us to make the right decision now, so that we do not leave future generations with the chaos of our uncertainty. War is ugly. Men shy away from its horror. But we made a decision to confront our enemy and in doing so crush their ideology of hatred. The alternative is inaction and peace. A position which only emboldens our enemy. Containment has been our objective so far. And I would say that approach has failed. It has made our enemy stronger. It has strengthened their resolve, and now they cling to our planet like parasites. The Hellgas does not suffer like we do. The Hellgas is suffering. It is their way of life, their very way of being. We will never cause them enough pain comparable to that which they feel themselves. To beat them, to try and grind them down, these are impossible aims. They will not bring us victory. We have failed to win this war because we have judged the Hellgas by our own standards. We have been afraid to act through fear of violating our own moral codes. Yes, we treasure life. We treasure its value. And we uphold the rights of every individual. But extending these rights to the Hellgas is lunacy. This misplaced respect leads to our own destruction. Earlier, I commended you all for your courage. But what is true courage? When we are surrounded by our enemies, courage is not only the desire to live, it is also to acknowledge the possibility of threat. We cannot be afraid any longer. Engineers, those turrets will scan through cloak.
아 졸라 열받네. 아 열받아 죽겠다. 이렇게 해보자. 아 열받아. 이거 어떻게 해야 돼 이거.
But our work is not done. We are still at war. The question we now face is how to finish that war. When I created this agency, I understood what its role would be to operate in the shadows of secrecy and provide intelligence that would ensure
아 네 이것도
our nation's security.
모르고.
Above all, I believe it was our mission to prepare Vector against the growing Hellgas threat. I understood just how important that mission was when we were attacked just a few weeks ago, when our great building, not far from us, was almost burned to the ground. On that day, over 200 of our team perished in those fires. Countless citizens lost their lives around the city. Thousands of lives were devastated. The attack woke us all from our fantasy, a fantasy of denial. From that day, we could no longer deny the very real and present threat to our nation. This was a threat that had been allowed to infiltrate our own society and take advantage of our freedoms. If we didn't know it before, we know it now. The Hellgas mean to destroy us. They believe it is their duty to destroy us. And for as long as they live, they will not stop. We have nothing but a wall to separate us from this evil. New Helgen is a failed state, full of rude generals and proliferators. It is only a...
미쳐겠다. 미치겠어. 아 나 이거 미치겠네. 이거 깨야 되는데. 어렵네 이거.
But our work is not done. We are still at war. The question we now face is how to finish that war. When I created this agency, I understood what its role would be to operate in the shadows of secrecy and provide intelligence that would ensure our nation's security. Above all, I believe it was our mission to prepare Vector against the growing Hellgas threat. I understood just how important that mission was when we were attacked just a few weeks ago, when our great building, not far from us, was almost burned to the ground. On that day, over 200 of our team perished in those fires. Countless citizens lost their lives around the city. Thousands of lives were devastated. The attack woke us all from our fantasy, a fantasy of denial. From that day, we could no longer deny the very real and present threat to our nation. This was a threat that had been allowed to infiltrate our own society and take advantage of our freedoms. If we didn't know it before, we know it now. The Hellgas mean to destroy us. They believe it is their duty to destroy us. And for as long as they live, they will not stop. We have nothing but a wall to separate us from this evil. New Helgen is a failed state, full of rogue generals and weapons proliferators. It is only a matter of time. Do not let our recent success delude us. They will attack again. They envy our win because we are free. But as free people, we have no regrets. Weakness is the thing we seek to exploit. We cannot let them envy our will or resolve to fight this war. Every shy away from its horror. We needed the system to confront our enemy and in doing so crush their ideology of hatred. The alternative is inaction and peace. The position of only one is courage. Containment has been our objective, sir. I can see that approach is failed. It has made our enemy stronger. It has strengthened their resolve, and now they cling to our planet like parasites. The Hellgast do not suffer like we do. The Hellgast is suffering. It is their way of life, their very way of being. We will never cause them enough pain comparable to that which they feel themselves. To beat them, to try and grind them down, these are impossible aims. They will not bring us victory. We have failed to win this war because we have judged the Hellgast by our own standards. We have been afraid to act through fear of violating our own moral codes. Yes, we treasure. We treasure
좋았어. 이제 찬스야, 찬스.
all the rights of every individual. But extending these rights to the Hellgast is lunacy. I warn you. This misplaced respect will lead us to our own destruction. Earlier, I commended you all for your courage. But what is true courage? When we are surrounded by our enemies, courage is not only the desire to live, it is also to acknowledge the possibility of death. We cannot be afraid of getting off.
Hey, who's there?
I remember when the Hellgast first came along. There was a belief that we could coexist. Through their suffering, we thought we saw our humanity. But this was a mistake. We should have realized then, as we do now, that the Hellgast chose to forsake their humanity long ago. They are an aberration. They do not share our values. And they do not deserve our
Karen.
protection.
뭐야, 에코였어? 에코였네. 얼굴이었어, 얼굴. 깼네. 엔딩을 보게 되는구나, 이렇게. 아, 힘들었다, 진짜. 정도면 진짜지. 스튜디오 아트 디렉터. 에이, 인공지능? 애니메이션. 네. 별로. 시네마틱 2? 한국 사람은 하나도 없나? 끝났어. 끝났어 깨했어. 난이도가 좀 있네. 깼어, 다 깼어. 뭐라고? 그죠? 네. 힘든 게임이었어.